Hey guys, welcome to the Pandacast number 2. I'm SamuraiPanda, or Alan Benet, the CEO of Panda Global, and I'm your host. And I'm joined here by
David Wu, or Mashimaro. And I feel like we should call this, instead of the Pandacast, we should refer to it as Tea Time with SamuraiPanda and Mashimaro, because, once again, we're having tea.
Yes, yeah. We start with tea, of course. What tea did you get this time?
I didn't get it. You got it.
Well, yeah,
what tea
from my closet did you get?
Yeah, it's a Kenyan black tea.
I didn't know.
Did you know that Kenya's, one of their biggest cash crops is tea?
Kenya's?
Yeah, so Kenya actually exports 13% of the world's tea.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
Blacks usually?
Black is one of the highest, but they do white, black, flower, all different types, green. So, yeah, I had no idea.
Cool.
Now I do.
Well, cheers, I guess.
Cheers. Don't.
Don't actually cheers.
Don't actually cheers. That's a terrible... Ooh, that's good.
That is good, actually.
Yeah, it's a very...
Did you open it? I don't remember having
No, I definitely opened it.
Okay.
Yeah.
You opened a brand new tea bag?
Yeah, I'm good at tea bags.
There's 8 tea bags that are already open.
Yeah, but I wanted to try the Kenyan Campropet. Apparently...
You can't even say it.
I can't even say it, but Campropet isn't a type of tea.
That's good.
It's an estate where the tea is grown.
Did you Google the tea before you...
No, I knew this.
Oh. I don't believe that at all.
I don't
believe you just the estates of Kenya. This is not an area of expertise.
No, I mean, I was wondering what Campropet meant, you know? Because, I can't even say the word.
Yeah.
There was definitely no, Google word of, here's how you pronounce it.
That's more like the Merriam-Webster or something, isn't it?
Yeah, dictionary.com?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's the thing. Okay, so let's, I guess, start into some subjects here. I guess at this point of the... to the public, we've announced Zippo finally.
Yes.
So that took a minute.
That took a very long minute.
Yeah.
I would actually not describe it as a minute at all.
No.
It was a hot minute or a hot month or a hot half a year. Actually...
Hot half a year is probably the most accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, for people who are unaware of how non-endemic sponsors work, they're not as simple as talking to 1 or 2 people and be like, yeah, that's cool, man, let's do it. There's a lot of hoops to jump through, and oftentimes they don't get it. And then you have to explain it to the next person for them to get it, and then the next person...
Imagine you're climbing a ladder, and each step you have to re-explain the concept of esports. Yeah. And re-explain why they should be activating within esports. Re-explaining why... they should be creating and selling a electronic hand warmer.
Yeah.
Which is actually really nice.
It's actually really nice. And this is... it was really unfortunate that for EGLX we couldn't announce it yet because we had worked on it for so long, but it would have been perfect for that.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Honestly, hand warmth and hand health are very important topics in esports. I was doing neurology residency for about a year and a half. And in neurology, we do EMGs where you put needles into muscles and you test the speed of nerve conduction between the nerve, which one part of the nerve to the next part of the nerve. It's just part of basic testing in neurology. Whenever we'd get a patient with cold hands, we'd actually have to warm their hands up because the coldness would actually slow down the nerve conduction from the point A to point B. So it's scientific that cold hands leads to slower reaction times, leads to your muscles responding slower because literally nerves move electricity slower to the muscles. So something like hand warmth is really, really important. And of course, the hand warmers we were using before were those, shake weight, the ski ones that are...
Oh, yeah.
Which,
not to knock them, but they are just inconsistent. So this one's static 6 hours, so it's going to work. It's also a power bank. Mm-hmm. I know most of the women in my life have cold hands and extremities, and they love this product. Mm-hmm. Most people over the age of 30 also love this product because they have cold extremities.
Yeah.
So it's actually...
I saw someone warming their feet with mine.
This one.
Yes. Yeah. Put that down.
I don't know. Some people might like that. I don't know. Shout out Star/Kappa. You my people.
Anyways, there's so much crossover with hand warmer sponsor and esports that it made too much sense. So when it finally got off the actually it does have power. Got off the ground, we were super excited. And, shout outs to the X-Moto guys for helping us out with that. So, you'll be seeing a lot more of the hand warmers coming up in tournaments. Our players are going to be using them, tweeting about them here and there. They'll be doing some reviews on stream.
There'll be a link underneath this, so if you want to check them out,
I'll
I'll just say it right now. It's at Zippo.com. If you go to the accessories section, I believe there's a hand warmer section.
We'll just give you a link.
Yeah, we'll give the link.
Yeah, it'll be easy that way. And what that means, I guess, for Panda Global, too. This is our 4th non-endemic sponsor on our jersey.
Fourth current.
Sure, fourth current. We've worked with more non-endemics before, but
I think we worked with 8 jersey, total. On our current jersey, we have 4 non-endemics. 3 of them which are exclusive to us. The other being actually Geico, we share with TSM.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and also 3 of them, we were there on our current jersey. We were the first brand in esports they worked with, which, I think is sort of, it's huge in a lot of ways.
No, it's definitely huge.
And I don't know if this is true or not, the statistic, but I do think we might have the most non-endemic sponsors of a single esports team. I don't want to stand firmly behind that because I don't, there's so many esports teams out there. And these are real sponsorships. These are not, we just throw on their logo.
Yeah, they're not coupon code partnerships. I believe actually that we've brought in. I don't think we're the top, but we're up there. We're definitely up there.
Yeah.
Currently working with, we are definitely number 1.
Yeah.
So
that's I think really a testament to not just us, but how hard our team works, and where we can go in this space. Panda Global finding success in fighting games is also unique.
Yeah, I think, we're definitely the most successful fighting game team ever. We're probably one of the most successful teams to ever have done fighting games.
Yeah.
It's definitely a point of pride, and I think this is going to go into one of our subjects later, but fighting games are not traditionally what people want to do. Yeah. It's not it hasn't been a good business decision for a lot of teams and a lot of brands. So for Zippo, we had to convince Zippo that, and other non-endemics, that esports in general was worth it. Within esports, and then the sub-conversation that we always constantly have is that fighting games are worth it. When we land a new non-endemic sponsor, to us, it is a huge win, not for Panda Global, but for fighting games. Because we feel that we justify fighting games as having something that is worth it, being something that's worth it to an audience and to important people who overlooked it before, and that's why to me at least, when we see success, I feel so excited to share that, not because, hey, awesome, look what I did sort of thing, but it's like, guys, we made it. We're getting. We're getting attention. We're getting attention. People care.
Seen. Yeah, people care.
People care now. And that's 100%. I agree with that. When we land something, it's a win for everybody because people care. There's so many eyes. We did this, and just the other day, I know it has to do with Dragon Ball FighterZ being a great property, but Energy got back in.
Yeah.
A bunch of players got picked up. Echo Fox. Everybody's starting to reactivate. There's a lot of new signings in that game. I think
it is because FighterZ is really fun to watch. A really dynamic community right now.
I think a lot of it has all to do that there's a summit for it.
True, that's a good point. So we'll see what the future for FighterZ has. They've only announced officially through Namco, I think, Evo.
Did they?
Yeah, they.
Okay. It's an official game then.
Yeah. So, other than that, I don't think anything has been officially announced.
Definitely looking forward to it.
Yeah, the game's going to survive. I think it's got a good community. It's a lot of fun to watch, a lot of fun to play. Bardock's really cool. He is really cool, by the way.
It's okay.
Brawley sucks. Sorry if anyone actually enjoys playing him. He's very awkward. What were we talking about before? Oh. The win for the fighting game community. So yeah. So I think that was pretty much,
Speaking of another win, Zain.
Yes.
What a guy.
So yeah, that moves on to our next topic, which is Zain. So we have, how long has it been that we wanted to expand into Melee? You know, like since like 6 months into PG, we've been looking for a way to help the Melee community or give back to the Melee community.
I think a lot of it was Plup's rise was really everything we needed to do, and anything above that was, I think, too much. Yeah. And now that he's kind of solidified there, and he's done it, he's changed the way people are looking at the game. Mm-hmm. He's exciting to watch. He's starting to become more of a personality and engage with people a lot more. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now it's time to bring in another project to keep it fresh, because I think Plup's going to be great for the storyline for the next 1 or 2 years.
Yeah.
And then we'll see a definite changing of the guards, and when that happens, you know, we want to make sure that there's another player groomed so we keep everything interesting. And I think that guy is definitely Zain. I would say he's a doc kid. 100% he's a doc kid. You know, he's had a really good rise
and
from...
if you don't know, a doc kid means he started playing Melee because of the Smash documentary released 3-4 years ago.
2013. 5.
Well, I'm old. Okay.
Yeah. And I think his Marth is great. He's still improving. He went from, top 100 to top 22? He's number 22 right now, I think.
Yeah, I think on the Melee Army.
Yeah, Melee Army is number 22.
A lot of people consider him, at least from my conversations, like a top 15.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, when it was released, top 2017, sorry.
Yeah.
You know, top 22.
You're right.
Now I think he's a top 15, possibly in the conversation for top 10 if he gets some more results. He obviously won at Flatiron. He won against SFAT today.
Yeah.
Big win for him.
That's, by the way, when we're recording is the day of Flatiron. In fact, I don't even think singles is done yet for Melee. Oh, I should probably play on that.
Yeah, put it back on multi-Twitch.
It is on multi-Twitch. MVD just beat Anti. ESAM's beat Captain L. So PG winners finals. That's awesome.
Yep. Just watching a Ness body himself back and forth.
Yeah. But... yeah, this is how we do it here.
Yeah. So, if you're interested, it's in the background. Plop just won Aegis against Ryan Ford. He played...
stream or something.
No, that's fine. No, it's the Aegis stream. The Melee Everyday stream.
Go to Stack. I'm going to go to Stack. Anyways, so Zain, I think... so here's the funny story. We were going to make something, an amateur team called... well, I wanted to call it, he hated the idea, Panda Cubs. And that was the beginning of 2017, I think.
Well, we had the idea in 2015, but we didn't get around to actually doing it until end of 2016, 2017.
Right around
and then
16.
That was right when we decided not to do it.
Yeah, so we in the end didn't decide to do it, but one of the players that we had identified and fingered for the Panda Club team was Zain. And I thought Zain was gonna quickly rise. I thought Zain was gonna have a great year. I thought Zain was like a perfect rising star. You wanted to call the Panda Rising Stars.
Correct.
Yeah, it's a terrible name.
It's the actual correct name.
It's terrible.
That's how you would describe them.
Let us know in the comments who's right. Panda Cubs, Panda Rising Stars. Make the right choice. So Zain, I actually talked to. I had a whole interview with him. I really liked him, but we just couldn't justify an amateur team at the time, and we decided to just sort of redouble down and focus more on just the main PG. And a year from then, when I contacted Zain again for PG, the main PG, he has no place on an amateur team anymore. He's incredible, and I think we were right. We were right to choose him as a rising star.
I think. One of the coolest things is, I think it's a meme that no one's actually heard his voice, but with his, I guess, road to Summit and how he kind of campaigned, he did really well. I think he really put himself out there. I think he's very enjoyable. Like, now everyone gets to see what we see. I think he's got a great personality. He raps. Mm-hmm. He did the Spirit Bomb thing.
Yep,
that was great. That was a great activation.
Yeah. He sang...
I can show you, or the Magic Carpet thing. I can show you the one. Yep, on the Mango show, I believe.
The Mango Summit show, yeah.
Yeah. So no, he's definitely putting himself out there. I think he's going to be very entertaining at Summit.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to watch what he's I'm excited to see him perform there.
Yeah, because I'll also say that for a player of his caliber, he doesn't have a following yet. Not because he doesn't deserve it, but because he hasn't put himself out there. He hasn't had the resources, tools, or guidance, I think, to figure out how to become I don't want to say a personality, but figure out how to become a known figure within the community, and that's it's a big thing we'll be doing.
Figure out how to rise and become a star, as if he was a rising star. No, I 100% think he's just his rise has been so fast that he hasn't been able to build the following, and he's been concentrating on his play.
Yeah,
which is really important.
Totally fair.
When we look at players, or when you look at players for teams, you gotta evaluate between their branding, between their skill, between their different, like, do they fit your brand? Does their voice fit your brand? What kind of image are they portraying? How do what do they want?
This is getting to the next topic as well. So to finish up Zain, I guess I did record a thing of me signing him. The audio didn't come out, unfortunately. We might still release it, but really excited to have him on board. I don't want to say he's the next Plup, but he might be the next Plup someday. We'll see. I think he is his own person. Actually, he's a lot of fun to watch from my perspective. That's a debatable point, I guess, because people don't like dash dance grab moths. Some people don't.
I think it's
his edge guarding
super cool.
Yeah,
I think his custom combos are cool. Like he just randomly he's like, I grabbed you, install, and like he can do whatever he wants.
Yeah. So really happy to have him on board. Now back to what you were saying before. Our next topic we want to talk a little bit about was the current state of Smash sponsorships. By sponsorships, I mean teams, not sponsors. And the difficulty, not just in Smash 4, but I'd say Melee. Like, Zain, I feel like, was a hot commodity in the Melee community for a substantial long time. Like, there was Zain, Crush, Hugs, Lucky.
Yes.
And then Hugs Lucky got Dignitas, which that took a while too. I think
took them a little bit.
Yeah, they're talking for quite a while. And then when it came to Zain Crush, nobody really was moving on them. No one really was approaching them.
Yeah, and there was also Ice that got Red Bull recently, but he was on the market for a very long time.
You're right.
Because he was on Luminosity about a year and a half, 2 years ago. When almost the entire
Luminosity
year.
had Abadango and Ice, and I don't know if they pulled out at the same time. But they definitely
Abadango
pulled out.
wore the jersey longer.
Probably contract length, because they pulled out of Smash completely, and they just said, we're not doing Smash anymore. I'm pretty sure when they're dropping them.
That's happened a lot of teams that you see. They tried it, decided that it wasn't for them because at the end of the day, esports is a business, and if the business doesn't make sense, you're gonna choose not to do it.
Yeah. Honestly, it's getting harder in the current esports landscape, I feel, to justify games like Smash. Smash, for starters, is not cheap for a team, because look at how many events there are. There's so many events. It's ridiculous. An event can pop up like this, and in 3 weeks' time, you're like, well, this event just had a flood of top players. All of a sudden, I'm buying a last-minute ticket for my player like a week or 2 weeks in advance, because now this tournament's worth it. Now this tournament has so much hype around it. It's going to be big. It's like...
Well, no, it's just the way it looks. Like, okay, cool. Like, sudden big tournament shows up, and your guy's not going because you're not going to pay for it because it's not in the contract.
Yeah.
Like, what are you going to do? So a lot of the events, or a lot of teams, had very open-ended, and they realized very quickly that was a terrible idea.
Yeah, a flight, a hotel for 3 to 4 days, last-minute flights, no less. Last-minute hotels and the blocks are sold out. Might not even get the main hotel. You might have to get a secondary hotel, which is more expensive. It's so...
The cost of travel are really, really high for Smash, and almost rival like what people are actually making salary-wise for, I would argue, much more lucrative or much more desirable games for teams.
Yeah, and then on top of that, the players do want a salary.
Correct.
And I'm not saying that's wrong by any means, but it's like, it feels like they don't understand how much goes in, and not just flights and travel, how much goes into
the organizational cost behind it.
Yeah.
Anything... I would say, like, rule of thumb, anything you're asking for, so that's your salary plus your travel, multiply that by 3, and that's the value you should be bringing to the organization for them to consider it.
Yeah. And that's really what's happening in Smash 4 right now. There's a couple of key players that have been, I would say...
Last year, no, they've been asking for something. It's because they got it. Right.
So that's the artificial inflation issue in Smash has been major. So I guess we could talk a little bit about artificial inflation in esports. So esports games have sort of a pattern that we've seen over and over again. The first time we saw it, I believe, was Heroes of the Storm. And what happens is that a game gets kind of popular, and it's starting to grow, and then all of a sudden you get a flood of these teams that don't know how the market works. They just
want to be a part of it. They want to do something.
Yeah.
It's oftentimes their first game. Mm-hmm. And so they are overpaying to build a name and build a brand, piggybacking off the game. Mm-hmm. And so they pay over market because guess what? A player is definitely going to choose Cloud9 over some unknown team.
Yeah. And
or they're going to choose us over some unknown team.
And what comes into paying in esports is there's a lot of different variables, including the team itself. Does the team need this player? What resources does the team have? Does this player want that team? So some players end up getting paid quite a more.
Eventually, someone has a price where they'll do something, right? And in order to hit that, some of these new teams have to do it, and they quickly realize, oh, this was a terrible idea because this is our first foray into esports in general. I have learned this is not for me. Yeah, and they're gone.
Yeah, and they don't realize that they're paying 3 or 4 times the market price of a player. But what happens is this sort of artificial inflation model where that player, or usually it's a team, because this happens more in team games than it does in 1v1 games, a team will be making a lot from an organization, and then they'll brag to their friends. They'll say, oh, this is how much I'm making. Correct. And then their friends will be like, well, I'm better than this guy is, or we beat that team. We should be making that. And then they demand more. And you will see a mass exodus out of a game from top teams because player asks are just absurd. They're asking for things that just does not make sense. And then all of a sudden contracts fall apart. All of a sudden those bridges are burned. So the player's like, well, crap, now nobody wants to sign me for this money. I'll take way less. Just please help me out. And they've already burned those bridges of those teams. Those teams don't want anything to do with them or that scene anymore. And guess what? This happens over and over again. It causes a sort of Armageddon within the esports scene. Mass exodus of teams, and then you might get a slow trickle of teams coming back here and there, but really not to the same level. And this is all comes down to these naive teams, which doesn't necessarily have to be a small team, can be a large team too. Yep. But the naive team comes in, drives up the market price for the esports players. The players then spread rumors and they talk amongst themselves, and then they drive their value up higher, faster than
they drive their ass up, not necessarily value.
Right.
Because the problem is that the ass are eclipsing the value.
Yes.
And that difference makes it so business savvy teams don't want anything to do with it. Yeah. And the issue, one of the main things is, there's always other games to do. And so if you've been burned by one scene once, you remember that. Yeah. And you never come back. You never absolutely come back. True. Yeah. When you burn a bridge, that bridge is pretty much burned forever. And with esports constantly shifting, new games constantly coming out, the team doesn't need you, so why should, or doesn't need that scene anymore, so why should they come back? And that our first I think experience of that was Heroes of the Storm, and we saw it happen firsthand, and other games besides Smash and fighting games, we've seen it happen over and over and over again. And guess what? It's finally starting to hit like Smash games and stuff, where in Smash 4 specifically, there's some. It's very, I would say, haphazard for who gets picked up, who doesn't get picked up by teams, and then the value that teams are assigning to the players is all over the place. So it's confusing. Yep. Everyone has their
confusing
own,
for the players.
Well, the thing is, everyone has their own revenue model, right? So if you find the right team and you're the right fit, they're willing to pay you quite well. They might hit your ass, right? Yeah. They might hit your ass. They might counteroffer you or something. But generally, there has to be a fit for it. But if you don't fit in the revenue model, if you don't provide, because everyone's going to provide different values. Everyone's got different skill sets. Maybe you're good at tournaments. Maybe you're good at streaming. Maybe you're good at being a personality. Maybe you're good at music videos. I don't know. But some teams will value each one of those objects over others. Yes. And if you can bring that value, then perhaps they'll compensate you for it.
Mm-hmm. So a player who thinks they are worth X amount, that is not necessarily true. You might be worth X amount to these teams, but these other teams don't generate revenue from the things that you do best. So they don't see you as X. They see you as much less than that to them. Or teams that need that metric that you happen to be good at might see you as more than X. So even though I would say when they catch up to that, they don't. A lot of teams have actually offered players less money when re-signing, even when the player does good, because they're like, you know what, we don't have a need for that anymore, or our need isn't as strong because we've supplemented in other ways now, so our need for you is less. It's not like sports. This is not, teams don't create, like, we are one of the few teams in fighting games, or I would say one of the only teams in fighting games that creates a team. We want a team. We want multiple people. We want to create, this atmosphere. Most other esport teams are like, well, we need higher stream numbers, and this guy's pretty good, and he does Smash, so let's get him for this amount because he has a great stream, and we need that really bad. And they pick up other streamers, they don't need him as much.
Yeah, because it's also what the sponsors want, right? Because at the end of the day, sponsors pay all our bills for the most part, and so that's what we're going to try to cater to. So depending on what metrics each sponsor wants, we're going to cater towards that. That's why you see, a lot of teams in Smash have. No, that's not necessarily true. Sorry, I lost my thought. But you see a need or a want for certain metrics that the sponsors want to see.
Yes.
And I don't know.
You're talking about the sponsors that we cater to the sponsors. It's what the sponsors want to pay for.
Yeah, no, I had another point. I don't know if I should talk about it or not. That's
hold off a little bit. I mean, we try to be open. We try to be honest with you guys.
No, I don't think I can speak on it because NDAs, prior agreements. I don't think I can speak on it. So I can try to speak in general terms, but I don't think it's actually going to get the point across. So
that's all right then.
That's the way it is.
So honestly, and this is what happens, especially in Smash 4, where Smash 4 is completely honest and frank. It's on its way out. It's when Smash Switch comes out, I don't think there's going to be any Smash 4 left over. It's gonna go the way probably of Brawl, if Smash Switch is a good game and a decent replacement in the same playstyle as Smash 4, which one would assume it's going to be like that given Brawl to Smash 4 to Smash Switch is probably going to be something similar. We would think, but it's all hearsay. Right now, it is on its way out. So players that have high asks, who are looking at a couple individuals saying, oh, this guy makes this guy makes this, I'm worth it. I beat him in tournament, I'm worth it. That's not how it works, unfortunately. And I know a couple players that have rejected what I thought were offers way above of their actual metrics because they thought they were worth more, and unfortunately now they have nothing. And this is the way esports goes, and this is the way that the sort of Armageddon happens. You see teams are pulling out of Smash now, and there's only a few left over in Smash 4, and Melee's been solidified for a little bit.
Yeah, I think Melee is an interesting topic because about a year or two ago we saw a lot of activity, a lot of people getting into Melee, and now you don't, and so you got Wizzy, who's Fry's Electronics, but on the history of that, it's not. He's always been with Fry's. Like that was Cognitive, his old sponsor, right?
Yeah.
And so now that he's got that, like I know he was looking for another team, but I'll just say I think his ask was much higher than his placements or his stream or whatever metrics you want to do it. In any case, because each team values each metric differently.
Yeah.
So you got to find the right guy who's going to value what you do really good.
I mean, we never reached out to Wizzy on our end, though. I mean,
I wanted to help him out.
Yeah, I wanted to help him out. We connected him to a couple teams.
I know they got pretty far in talks, but I got some blowback of what he was asking, they kind of.
But I love Wizzy. He's a really cool guy.
He's a lot of fun.
Yeah, he's a fun kid. I plump Wizzy on the same team would be pretty cool, but it's all right. I think Wizzy's in a pretty good place, anyways. Fry's helping him get out to events,
sure.
So
Fry's is definitely helping him out. Not to say anything bad about Fry's. Like,
no, they're doing, but they're not a team. And as far as I know, because I haven't talked to Wizzy in actually quite a while now. As far as I know, he's still looking for another team. Yeah, but not in any rush.
No, he's in a good space.
Yeah, he is. And he's still super fun to watch.
Yeah.
But Melee is sort of, I would say, saturated. Like, you're really not going to get many teams jumping into the pool right now.
I mean, like, top 8, everyone has a team. Top 16, I feel most people have a team. And beyond that, where are the metrics, right? If you're not a top 16 player, are you going to be able to pull stream numbers? Are you going to be able to pull Twitter numbers?
Yeah.
Are you going to pull results?
I mean, hugs. We've thrown hugs at a lot of teams too, trying to get him at home because he had a phenomenal stream. He was an amazing content creator, and he has so much value outside of his 6 Samus.
I think Hugs is probably one of the most valuable valuable Melee players.
I would say outside of the top 10, he really is one of the more valuable ones. I think Crush is a really interesting one too.
I think he's interesting. I don't know how he'll translate.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know how he'll translate, but I think he's really interesting.
Yeah,
I think a lot of brands would find him attractive.
Mm-hmm.
But
and I know people have talked to him before, but he's not ready, as far as I know. But it's just the problem I would have with him is like, how do I utilize his Twitter? How do I utilize his dry wit?
Like that type of humor, right?
Yeah, like you can't. It's hard. You can't. Really, not a Panda voice. Which was when I was looking at players. Again, that was what sort of pushed me back a little bit. Was like, I just don't know what PG Crush. How that would feel.
Yeah, I think in terms of as we were talking about earlier, the brand has to fit. The brands have to fit. So because I feel like his Twitter voice is so much different from ours, and what we want to value, like that's not as attractive to us then.
Yeah. So esports, I guess in general, is not easy. It's not clear cut. It's not cut and dry. You might think a player should be sponsored. Why isn't this player sponsored? By the way, I hate that people say sponsored when it comes to teams. But that's the word they use. So why isn't he sponsored? Why doesn't he have a team? There's a lot that goes into it. There really is, and there's a lot more movement than behind the scenes.
Even with zero travel, zero salary, zero resources put towards the player gets absolutely zero. No gear, no jersey, no nothing. The player has to buy their own stuff. That in itself costs the team money to do.
Yeah.
It costs them brand capital. It costs them human capital in terms of the people who are managing it. It costs them, a variable of different things. Yeah. And so if you're not bringing that value initially, just even at zero, like that's a no.
Yeah. I mean, you can't just have a player. You have to be able to activate the player. You have to be able to do things with the player, record things, depending on what your team does, creates content. And that's the problem. Like, people don't quite understand that. And if a team does not feel like this player fits their brand voice or their way that they activate, it's just not going to happen. Yeah. And if a player, I'm going to use a player that I follow on Twitter, I like a lot. I think he's super fun to watch. Amazing player. Lost Soul.
Oh, yeah.
We looked into Lost Soul several times, actually. And I love watching him. I think he's really cool. He just retweets porn.
A lot.
A lot of porn.
Constantly, actually. There's quite a bit.
Yeah. So, we could make a new Twitter and everything, but it's kind of like, you have to keep in mind a player's marketability. You can't just ignore these things, and their habits too. Yeah, sure. Some people like pictures they really shouldn't like, and I shall not name the more famous of these players. But and that puts things on people's timelines. Thank you, Twitter. But it's just because a player wins doesn't mean a team can pick them up. It's as simple as that. There's so many variables that go into it, and I'm honestly surprised that even some people that have strong social games, and even today in 2018, are with their teams, because it's not a great look in a lot of ways for the teams. Just
if the team doesn't care, that doesn't matter.
True, if the team doesn't care, if the team doesn't have that metric that they care about.
Well, if the team doesn't have non-endemic sponsors or sponsors in general, they don't care because
True.
a lot of it is, we don't have any restrictions on what our players say, but there are repercussions to it.
Yeah.
There's a freedom of speech here in America. You can say whatever you want.
Yeah.
But there are repercussions to it. And so anything you... What?
Things are repercussions.
Repercussions?
Yeah.
I call it repercussions.
I don't, that's not even...
Oh, repercussions?
That's...
3-hit combo?
That's a recca.
Repercussions? Oh, concussion. Repercussions.
Oh, but that...
I don't know.
Sorry, you were saying?
Yeah. So you have to hold responsibility to what you say. And because of what you say, people look at that as a reflection of the brands you represent and that they also stand by what you say. And so, it's just the way it is. If you want to get the esports money, you have to play the esports game.
Yeah, and some people do that, some people don't. More power to them. But the people that don't, that then question why things are the way they are, that sort of, to me, is a bit confusing,
Yeah. If you want to be sponsored by Chipotle, can't be talking crap about Chipotle.
Yeah, and that's, But, so, if you have any specific questions regarding what we said, we're trying to, be open with the guys. We're trying to be honest. I would say that, and a lot of times there's a little bit too much honesty for some people in the scene.
We don't mean it it's not mean. It's not mean spirited.
We're not trying to be mean to anybody. We're not trying to poke anybody.
We're not singling I call people out, but it's not a singling out.
Yeah.
It's like that was a severe example.
Lostful, I love you, but come on, man, you gotta make another Twitter. It's fine. Use that Twitter.
No, it's fine. He's on One Nation.
He's on PAG. I thought PAG.
Is he? Oh, I thought he was One Nation.
No, he is one. You're right, actually.
Yeah, he's on Wong Nation. Yeah.
Justin just flies
Justin flies him out.
You're right.
And
you're right.
Kudos to Justin Wong. I love the guy. Thanks for supporting Lost Soul. Thanks for supporting Shine.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, he's got Shine. Shine too.
Yeah, he does. He does.
So he's doing great. He's giving back.
Yeah.
Same with Knuckle-Doo. Knuckle-Doo gives back.
Yeah.
I know.
People give Wong a lot of crap. Well, at least our Kappa does. But he's a good guy.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this Pandacast. We are trying to do a little bit about esports in general with what we know, along with updates by Panda. Let us know if you have any feedback for us, anything we can do to improve it. Any final words?
We're almost out of tea, so that's when we know it's time.
Are we actually? Oh man,
no.
we are.
No, are we? Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
So Kenya tea. I didn't know Kenya had tea.
Yeah.
But it's delicious. Apparently. It's really good. Look into it, please.
Mm-hmm. Please.
Shout out to Zippo. That's actually really cool. I use their products all the time.
Yeah. Same. And I don't smoke or anything, but it's pretty cool.
No, the lighters are super sick.
Yeah.
Oh my
god. Really, really cool. We're not selling them to the public, but they're really cool.
Yeah, we have limited edition Panda Global Skin lighters from Zippo.
Mm-hmm.
So check them out from the team. If you need fire for some reason.
Yeah.
Go camping or something. Invite a PG friend.
There you go. All right. Well, I'm SamuraiPanda.
And I'm Mashimaro.
Catch you later.